Hello again, Lobo fans. We welcome you into another edition of your Lobo Coaches Show, presented by Green Summit Landscape Management. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at the University of New Mexico, Jason Eck. Coach Eck, great to be with you, sir. How are things?
Going well. Excited to be back at home this week.
Yes, you've got Nevada at home, and we'll get to that for sure. It was a trip to the Blue and Boise State for the Lobos in front of a homecoming sellout there. What about your assessment of the overall performance of the Lobos?
Well, I think there were some positives there. I thought the defense responded well to not playing the best against the week before. I thought, especially early in the game, they kind of got in some tough spots after turnovers, and really did the first two jobs were outstanding to force hold them to three when you get the ball at the 18-yard line, and then to turn them over on downs. I thought we did a great job of getting some tackles for loss and getting some negative yardage plays. We have to do a better job with the turnover margin. We got to protect the ball better on offense. Was disappointed by the 3 turnovers we had, and we have to still create some more turnovers on defense to create some short fields there. And I like the way we finished. We played hard down the stretch, but we certainly got to play better. And I think Boise, they've been the class of this conference for a while, and they showed us what we got to aspire to, because they're pretty darn good.
The Lobos showed once again just how resilient they are. You did get down 10-0, but your team comes back and takes a lead. I thought that was just an impressive stretch there in the first half.
Yeah, I definitely think we showed some resilience and some toughness, and we're finding ways to hang in there even when we're not playing our best, which is a credit to our guys' mental toughness and mental preparation. But we just got to execute better. We got to run the ball better, be more physical up front in the offensive side of the ball. We got to eliminate some of the big plays. Defensively, I thought there were too many times where we had them in 2nd and long, and then they were able to get back to 3rd and manageable. One time in the red zone we had them 2nd and 17, and they got back to 3rd and 6, and they converted on 3rd and 6. When you have them those 2nd and longs, you got to keep them in 3rd and longs, and then get off the field. So third downs will be a point of emphasis, getting off the field on defense as well, and 4th downs.
All right, let's get to the first half highlights. The Lobos in Boise State on the Blue, and it started off with a turnover, Coach.
Yeah, they blitzed into this. We didn't have the best execution with their blocking, and then we can't make a bad play worse. We got to do a good job putting the ball away and taking the sack there. What
about the job that your defense does here at the outset to hold them to a field goal attempt?
Outstanding job here. We're in man coverage and do a good job. I thought we played some good man coverage in the game, but that was huge to hold them to 3 and not let this be a touchdown to start.
Underneath there, Drew Speech gets his hand up and gets a deflection there, and it looked like John Johnson was in great position as well. So give up the early turnover on the first play from scrimmage, but only fall behind by 3.
That was a win. Now we got to get something going. This was a good little hit to DT there. Thought we maybe could have got 15 extra at the end, but we didn't.
What about the play of Jack Lane in this game, Coach? And I know this is the first of a couple interceptions.
Yeah, Jack will be the first to tell you this wasn't his best performance. We got to have him rebound and respond, but I know he will.
You talked about it, though, after the turnover, the way that your team's able to come back defensively and respond.
Yeah, just an outstanding job. And you saw Booker made a nice play. Bear Levels played his most, and here's the nice sack by Keyshawn. Really an impressive series, and a great job by the defense to have two times off turnovers and only give up 3 points.
How about the play of Keyshawn James Newby and your entire front? Just a fantastic job creating havoc in the backfield.
Yeah, 11 TFLs. 11 TFLs, which Notre Dame had 4 the week before against that team, so that was impressive. We needed a few of those on those 4th and 1s and things, but didn't get them then.
You talked about improving special teams play. This is a great start, Coach.
Yeah, really a nice job. We had some nice blocks. DJ McKinney with a nice lead block there, and then Damon is fast. I thought that guy had an angle for him, and he just broke the angle. Damon really has given us a ton of explosives this year.
10th time in Lobo football history for a 100-yard kick return touchdown, and my gosh, your interior linemen were terrific in this game, Coach.
Yeah, that was great to see. Jalen, his first sack, his first TFL. He's going to be our defensive player of the game, so it was really good to see him step up and have his best game.
Both MacGyver and Booker, I thought, played great in the middle.
They did. So here we get a nice stop, and now we're going to set up a scoring drive. We went back to this play. We hadn't ran this play in a few weeks. It was good initially by Malik and Neville. They got to finish that guy. It was great effort by Boise to come back off and make that play.
So just missed getting in the end zone there, Dorian Thomas, and now he does here on the little inside flip. This actually goes as a touchdown pass because it's pitched forward.
Yeah, it's tricky down there because it's loud in that end zone with all their fans. Even that play, we had some guys who were laid off the ball, but good execution and good design to get in there.
Nice block on the edge there by Jamar Tassi, the true freshman, to help spring him. Now, you did get the 4th down stop early, but then they were pretty successful on 4th down after that.
I mean, they got their next 6, and here they're able to get it back in and take the lead for good here late in the 3rd.
What about Boise's offense in this game was difficult for you, Coach? Because they did certainly wear you down, and of course they were on the play for the field for nearly 90 plays.
Yeah, I think they wore us down. I mean, the quarterback made some throws. We were able to get some pressure on him here, like here with a nice sack.
Xavier Slayton.
Slayton was playing well, but I thought they did some tough things formationally that created a little leakage sometimes. That some things we got to learn from and clean up.
And Brett Karhu, he's going to be our guest on this program. He helped finish off that sack with X. So you go into the locker room, down by just 3. You've taken a really tough punch from them early, and you're right in the football game.
Yeah, I felt good about where we were at halftime, and we had talked earlier in the week. We wanted to try to get it to be a one-possession game in the 4th quarter, and that's what it was when it went into the 4th quarter. But they did a great job of finishing us in the end, and I think part of it was. Again, they wore us down. We got to stay on the field better on offense throughout the game and get off the field better on defense.
Yeah, 40 minutes of time of possession for Boise State offensively. That's tough to overcome. Okay, we come back after the timeout. We look at second half highlights, the Lobos and Broncos on the blue, next on your Lobo Coaches Show. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Green Summit Landscape Management. We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at New Mexico, Jason Eck. It's time for second half highlights. The Lobos and Boise State on the blue. And Coach, you're down just 3 starting the second half.
Yeah, this was great to get a stop here, right off the bat. Held them to a long field goal. Nice kick by their guy from 50. I think that was the season long. But, not in bad shape. That was big to keep it a one-possession game.
What did you say to the guys at halftime?
Just we had to out-finish them down the stretch.
Here's a beautiful one. You got Bank out of the backfield. He has been tremendous, Coach.
Really nice design. This was a matchup we really liked. Our running backs and their linebackers, they weren't as agile and fast as our backs, and we took advantage of it.
So Banks in there coming out of the backfield, gets you deep into Boise State territory. And now Jack Lane, this is a terrific throw to Keegan Johnson.
A heck of a throw and catch there to get us down in position.
Drops it in the bucket, and Keegan has just been the go-to outside receiver. Sets up this field goal here from Luke Drizwicki.
Yeah, unfortunately, down 6, we would have loved to try to get it in position to go for it there, but it was just too far.
How about the Boise State running game, Coach? What about the way you defended that?
I thought overall we did a solid job, but we had some plays like that where it leaked out and had explosives. That was one where we got to get a little bit more depth with our underneath coverage to try to get into that route. And, we had it a one-possession game in the 4th quarter, but this is just a great run by their back. I believe that's Riley, just kind of running us over there and pushing into the end zone.
Again, out of the backfield, Damon Bankston. He had just a tremendous game.
Yeah, those were good adjustments getting to that. Now we needed on this 4th down to put it on him and get a conversion there.
A little bit of pressure in Jack's face maybe as the ball sails high. You get a deflection there, and for a moment it looked like he might pick that off.
Yeah, that would have been big because then they kind of botched their field goal attempt, but it ends up being a break for them because they get a touchdown out of it. We got to be a little bit more sound and making sure that we stay with our man there. Nice credit to them. They didn't panic when they had a bad snap. They found a way to make a play.
Talk about the fire play, Coach, because we're almost in position. It took a perfect throw.
Yeah, we just we got to stay with our man. We're in man coverage there, and we dropped coverage. The guy who was supposed to stay with him didn't stay with him. We got to step up in the pocket on this one. We're getting a little pressure, but they're dropping in the interior guys out. I think maybe the pressure of the 2 previous plays affected them.
Surprised at all here on 4th down that they go play action and throw to the end zone?
Not really. I thought it was a good play designed by them. They went up tempo and then had switch verticals that threw us off. It was a nice execution by them.
And you told us post-game, great opportunity here to get James Lobstein a chance to play.
Yeah, I didn't want to risk Jack getting hit and maybe getting injured, and I thought James did a good job. This was really the first series he's had, and did a good job leading us down here for a score against their backups.
You had a couple of nice runs in this series.
Yeah, a couple nice runs. Nice job hitting Cade in the flat there. and a nice job finishing it off to Keegan here for the touchdown.
It does give you confidence, and you said it coming out of training camp, Coach, that you felt like you had two really solid options, and it was a battle between Lobesy and Jack Lane, and this gives you confidence moving forward if you had to go to him.
Yeah, we feel good with Jack and James, and I think we got to keep. We've had some things in the game plan with James we haven't always got to him, but I think that just shows the validity. We can get confidence in both those guys.
I love that onside kick, that bullet. Just pick a guy and try to hit him.
Yeah, a little different format. We try to have some different ones available, and Grant Glasgow has a pretty good feel for that one, so he was able to put it on him, but just couldn't quite come up with it.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We come back on the other side. We hear from Lobo defensive lineman Brett Karhu next on your Lobo Coaches Show. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Green Summit Landscape Management. Welcome back into your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. We have Lobo defensive lineman Brett Karhu with us. Brett, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Doing well, yeah.
It's great to have you. Coming off a trip to the Blue in Boise.
Yep.
What was that experience like for you?
It was cool. Every game we want to win, so coming home a little disappointed, but it's a good experience, good atmosphere.
Great atmosphere on the Blue, sellout on the Blue for their homecoming, and the Lobo defensive line played a heck of a game. You guys balled out. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, felt like we had a really good plan going into the week, and then went out there and executed. Could have done some things better, and needed to get off the field on 3rd and 4th down at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, they converted too many 4th downs. That was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We got to get better at that this week for sure.
Well, the D-line got a lot of pressure on their quarterback, Maddox Madsen, and I know you got into the backfield for a TFL. Tell us a little bit about that play.
Yeah, it was a split back. Kind of saw that look against UCLA, and I actually messed it up, so I knew a team was going to go back to it. So when I realized that was the formation, I kind of had a feeling that was going to be the play, and ended up making the play.
So this actually had happened previously, and you knew since it was on tape that this team might go to it?
Yeah, so UCLA, I kind of messed up the fit on it, and then so I knew a team would come back to it eventually. So didn't mess it up this time.
Oh, that's great stuff. So Brett actually was the first Lobo to get a sack here in the 2025 season. You guys had a little friendly wager in the room there on who was going to do that?
Yeah, it was. Everybody wants to get to the QB, so it was who was going to get there first was the question.
So it was at Michigan. Tell us about that.
Yeah, electric environment. That was awesome. It was cool. Awesome experience. Kind of surreal,
How'd you get to the quarterback? How did that all materialize?
Yeah, it was a 2-minute drill, so we kind of knew they were throwing the ball, and just got a good get off and ended up throwing the tackle by, and then came back and made the play. So.
Is that the coolest college football experience you've ever had, 104,000 on the road at the Big House?
Michigan was cool, but I really enjoyed New Mexico State. Something about playing in front of your own fans was a cool experience.
Let's talk about that, man.
Yeah.
If there was a game this season for the New Mexico defensive line, that was the one. You guys tied a program record with 9 sacks.
Yep, that was we really just fed off the energy that was out there, the home crowd, and just started fast and kept going.
You had one of those 9 sacks.
Yep.
Take us through that one.
That was really, I give credit to X. He set that up. It was a little stunt, then X set up the guard perfect. It kind of just worked out for me, wide open. So
you were able to kind of loop inside? Is that how it happened?
Yeah, looped right inside. X took the guard, and it just worked out perfect.
Xavier Slayton you're talking about.
Xavier Slayton.
How about that room with Coach Loney in there? And you mentioned Xavier Slayton, and of course, you're playing opposite Keyshawn James Newby. That guy is unbelievable. He's a game wrecker.
Yep.
And then you have some great people inside with Book and MacGyver. I mean, what about the room?
Yeah, it's a really good room and really improved room from what we had against Michigan. Thinking like guys like MacGyver got his first sack. He's really matured and gotten a lot better throughout the season. And then Book's a monster. You saw him bowl a dude over against Boise State and get a sack. And then Keyshawn's stats speak for himself. So
you're absolutely right. Book just bulldozed somebody.
Yep.
Phenomenal group. And then Coach Loney. When I first spoke with you, you said that the influence of Coach Loney, the defensive line coach for the University of New Mexico, with his Tongan background, and he's kind of brought you guys together, hasn't he?
Yeah, like I said, the Tongan, like their culture over there is, very family oriented, and it's everything. They share everything, and sometimes you're like, Coach Loney, like, I like your hat, and he's like, oh, you want it? It's like, no, Coach, I don't want your hat, I just like it. But that's the kind of coach he is, and kind of chemistry he brings to our room. So
you guys are pretty tight.
Yeah, really.
So Brett comes to University of New Mexico from Memphis, and you come with the defensive coordinator, Spence Nowinski. And anybody who's been at a practice for the University of New Mexico football here in 2025, they can hear Coach Spence. What is he like?
He's one of a kind. There's no imitating Spence. A lot can try, but you can't do it. You got to see him.
Super special.
Yeah, for sure. He's a great guy. Like, he might come off like, just like your average GC, but at the end of the day, he really cares about you and cares about the player and obviously the play we have as well. So
it's an amazing balance that these coaches strike, and I think Coach Spence is a terrific example of a guy that can coach you hard between the lines on the practice field and on game day. But then I can tell how close you guys are to him. How does he do that?
Yeah, he'll tell you this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he's real hard, real mean, like trying to get under your skin. And then throughout the week, as we get closer to the game, it turns into love. And then by game day, you want to, go play for him. So
Brett actually, on the trip to Michigan, got a chance to reconnect with his brother. He's in law school in Ann Arbor, isn't he?
Yep, he's up there doing his first semester of law school. Yep.
You guys had a big family contingent go to see that season opener in the big house.
Yeah, I think we had about 20 people there, so it was cool.
Fantastic. How many of that family group made it for the New Mexico State game?
What did I have for that game? I think I had around like 8 to 10. A decent amount, not as much, but I have a lot of family in Michigan as well. So
expand on the experience of playing in front of a sellout crowd, 37,000 plus, the first sellout for Lobo football since 2007. It was an amazing atmosphere.
Yeah, it was awesome. Getting to go play those games on the road against Michigan. I played at Florida State, at Memphis. Like, games like that was cool. But getting there and actually having 40,000 cheering for you when you make a play, it's a different kind of feeling. So
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask Brett about the win at UCLA. Historic. The Lobos had never won against a Big Ten opponent.
Yep. Coach Eck talks about history makers in this team, and going there and doing that was something that hasn't been done in a long time. Our next goal, making a bowl game, hasn't been done since 2016. So that's kind of what we're focused on now. We got to keep winning and figure out a way to get there. So
best of luck this weekend at home against Nevada. Yep. Thanks so much for being with us.
I appreciate it.
Brett Karhu, our guest. We come back on the other side. We wrap up this Coaches Show with Lobo head man Jason Eck. We're back to close out another edition of your Lobo Coaches Show presented by Green Summit Landscape Management. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with head football coach at New Mexico, Jason Eck. So, Coach Eck, I thought I'd ask this as a final question coming out of the Boise State game. You haven't run it as well the last couple of games as you'd like, and it certainly was a big piece of your early success this season. How do you get back to it?
Well, we got to have great preparation. It comes with our practice. We got to keep getting more physical. We got to keep making sure that we're putting our players in the best situations with the schemes we're using to attack the opposition. Try to get good matchups. We're getting some of our best players out of some of their players who aren't their strongest to give us the angles and give us the advantage.
Well, the Lobos sure had an advantage in front of more than 37,000 when New Mexico beat its rival New Mexico State at University Stadium in the first sellout since 2007. You're back at home for a 7:45 p.m. kick on Saturday night against Nevada. I know you'd love a great crowd.
Yeah, very excited to be back at home. I had some people who had reached out to me and said, hey, they'd prefer a night game because they can't get off work or whatever. So this is your chance. This is our one night game at home this year. So hopefully we'll have a great crowd. Again, I know we didn't play well enough on the road to get what we had a few weeks ago, but I hope that you'll still come out and support us, and we're going to play our hearts out for you.
For the last 6 at home here in the back half of the schedule. Best of luck against the Wolfpack this weekend.
Thanks, Rob.
Lobo head football coach Jason Eck. I'm Robert Portnoy. Thank you to Frank Mercogliano and Chase Christensen for their hard work on your Lobo Coaches Show. Till next time, so long everybody, and go Lobos.